All right. So you would start off by introducing yourself and maybe the names and ages of your kids.
Sure. My name is Melissa, and I have three kids. I'm pregnant with my fourth right now. And hopefully this will work because my kids are not super old. My oldest is 8,
Okay.
a girl, and then I have a boy that's 6, and then a girl that's almost 3.
Okay. Well, definitely we can at least, we could probably figure out the 8-year-old. And then,
Yeah,
and then did you say 6?
he's 6, and he'll be 7 in a few months. So
So
he's
probably
he
it
displays some good indicators of what he's like, I guess.
yeah, I was like, some kids have just strong personalities from the
Yeah.
get-go, and there's not so much.
Yeah.
All right. And do you know your personality type?
I'm pretty sure that I'm an INFP. I'm pretty sure. So I feel I've taken a few tests and that's what I always get. And, looking at each one, I feel like it feels pretty clear cut for me that I'm like, yeah, that's it. So,
That's good. Yeah. INFPs usually, some types often mistype themselves. Like
oh,
it's
yeah. Mm-hmm.
not uncommon for like ISFJs to get a different type like every time they take the test.
That's interesting.
But INFPs usually do get the right result or recognize themselves as that.
Yeah, I felt like when this material that I've read about it, I was like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much me.
Okay, so how about with your oldest?
Okay.
You want to tell me what she likes to do, like her favorite things to play?
Okay. Yeah, she's never been super into I'm trying to think. She always wants dolls for Christmas and her birthday, but then she doesn't like to play with them. So she loves coloring, drawing. She was really interested in, learning cursive pretty early and writing really beautifully. And I'm trying to think what else she likes to play. But yeah, she loves coloring. She loves drawing. She does dance, like kind of modern creative dance. She really enjoys that. Um, she likes to have a friend over as often as I would let her. But at the same time, she can like listen to, an audiobook or something in color or draw for a long time. She's I would describe her as more outgoing, extroverted. It's hard to try to describe them without saying like what you like. She's pretty passionate. Like I feel like she's more of a like if she wants to do something, she wants to do it right then. And so sometimes it's hard for her to wait for me to, if it's something she can't just do on her own, it's hard for her to have someone else help her. I feel like as an adult, she'll be very driven and very like if she wants to do it, she's like, okay, I'm just gonna do it then. She's a very strong person. So is that helpful? Is that kind of what you're looking for? You can ask me more specific questions if I'm not giving you what you need.
No, that's good. Yeah. So do you already kind of have some idea that you've narrowed it down on?
No, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I haven't spent a lot of time with it. I've done I've read a few other books that kind of, put kids in like a certain category. And so of, general their energy or their personality or whatever. So I kind of have some of that in my mind, but I'm fairly new to their Myers-Briggs. So I would say with each child, I haven't gone through like, okay, are they, this or this for the first one, this or this. So I don't know. I would imagine she's at least I feel like I know the E, and then the other ones if I were to go through them. And the cognitive functions thing, I feel like I still don't quite. I'm working on understanding that as well. Sometimes that confuses me. So
yeah.
if I don't have a specific guess, no.
So it sounds like just from what you were saying there, I'm guessing J instead of P. Because she likes to do things herself. So likes to, I'm guessing, finish things. Like smart.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Or yeah, she gets frustrated if it's not something that can be like if it's a longer, like I tend to be more, I can tell sometimes, you know, like if like we do we've done homeschool in the past and we're doing like a part-time homeschool right now, so sometimes
Mhm.
with math I'll want to back up and be like, okay, tell me how you did that, and she already, I can tell she was in her head, and she'll just say it, and she'll be like, I don't want to go slow, I don't want to have to explain to you how I did it, I got it right, you know, like she likes it when she can just figure it out, whereas I'm more like, okay, well, let's go over the steps, you know, but she's like, I don't really have time for that right now. So, and if so, yeah, I think that's true. She enjoys having, and if it's something that is gonna be a longer project for her, sometimes she'll decide to be happy with a small part of it being done, or she won't continue that, you know, because she'd rather do something that's more immediate. You know, she can see how cool it's gonna be sooner, I guess.
Right. Okay. So, um, so what part of school is her favorite part, and what's her least favorite part?
Okay, that's a good question. I feel like I should know that right away, but I mean, she likes
Yeah,
things to
less
be,
about subjects, like
yeah, and
more about like
what
what
really,
part of it. What does she like to do?
yeah, what kind of gets her fired up and what doesn't. Anything that when we try to keep it, I'm trying to think what's most successful. Okay, so if I try to do something that's like a long term, you know, like, okay, a math book where you're wanting to get done like this certain amount of pages each day. But I don't know if this is just common to all kids, though. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of what's her specifically. Then, like, you know, after it's like she'll be excited about it at first, and then, you know, after a while, it'll be like, it'll be more like, oh, you know, I'll get some pushback. But I think that's pretty common.
Mhm.
But at the same time, okay, I'm thinking so that I don't just keep
Yeah,
talking.
that's right.
So I say something that's accurate. Okay, I feel like she likes to do things where if I'm involved with her, like she really likes doing uh, she likes working on things with me, or I guess it could be with someone, but I'm, you know, the
Mhm.
person that's
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
Um, so she likes doing, if we're doing something one-on-one, or if we're doing, you know, if we're doing math, if it can be like a mom-daughter buddy activity, then it's like fun. But she doesn't want to just go, you know, kind of slog through something on her own, and that's pretty common to all the subjects, I would say.
Okay. Um, so
Or if there's some element of story or, you know, something to kind of make it feel connected to her, to like her life, or to her, just to something that, you know, she likes. Or sorry, I feel like I'm not explaining this very
no,
well.
that's good because that kind of makes me lean toward S. So
Uh-huh.
the introverted sensation likes things that are connected to your sense of self or your memory or your past experience, something that's going to help you figure things out in the future, like, you know, something you can store away so that then you have a head start kind of, or it helps you figure things out in the future.
Yeah, like a useful piece of information,
Mhm.
kind of a useful thing.
Um, so you said she likes dolls but doesn't like to play with them. I'm curious about that one. That
Yeah, okay. So she's attracted by the, you know, if it's a character she knows from a movie, or it's really pretty, or it's, you know, the packaging is fun or something like that, she's really like, oh, I want it so much. But then in reality, she doesn't necessarily spend a long time, you know, kind of creating a world for them and pretending they're doing things and making them be friends. And she doesn't really do that, and she never really was super interested in carrying a baby around, a little baby doll around. um, she was kind of, as soon as like she got some crayons and a paper, it was like that was sort of her preferred thing. If she's going to spend a long time doing something by herself, it's some kind of artistic project or coloring or something like that. So I'm trying to think. And other, like, she likes doing Legos and stuff like that.
what kind of things does she build with Legos?
Sometimes she'll make things on her own, like invent something, but more often she just likes doing like she's gotten some of the more like the Lego Friends and the Lego Princess
Mhm.
ones. Like she likes building those, but same thing. I would say she doesn't play with them a ton. She likes building them more and
Following the
completing it
instructions.
and seeing the cool thing that she made
Yeah.
more than using it as a toy
Oh,
afterward. Excuse me.
uh-huh. And she'll follow the instructions. Like she
Mhm.
enjoys the following the instructions part.
It seems like it. She
Okay.
can do that pretty well. Yeah, like I would say my son, my next one down, if we'll talk about, he enjoys following the instructions and he enjoys playing with it
Okay.
afterwards. But like he's so anyway. But with her, so I don't know if it's like a pleasure to follow the instructions. She likes being able to. I think she likes that that just makes it so that she can create the thing that that she saw in the box that she thought was cool that made her want to get it.
Yeah. Um, so when she's playing with friends, what kind of things is it like, does she like a big group of people to play with or like one-on-one? You guys
um,
kind of seem in her element when you said she does a dance sort of thing. Does she like being in the class or like doing the dance? Kind of which one
yeah.
appeals?
Um, I think she really when she feels like she's not afraid to like I loved so they took a little video of their dance that they're preparing for their show, and she watched it and she just says right there in the class looking at it like I did not know how good I looked. You know what I mean? And she does. She looks really good. Like I love that I love that she's not that she's very confident and like when she can see that she's good at something, she's like, yeah, I'm really good at that, and I really like that. I think that's a good quality to have, especially as a girl growing up. Like, so
Mhm.
I think she likes, and if you're playing some kind of game in class, she's not afraid to do what she needs to do to try to win. Or to succeed.
Mhm.
So,
Um, yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think of how to narrow it down.
yeah, I know.
Well, um, yeah, because the younger they are, the harder it is because you don't have quite
Yeah.
so many experiences.
Yeah, and even if like for me it's useful just to kind of get even if you don't narrow like everything down to knowing their exact type, because I even feel like me, even as a teenager, I would say I functioned more in an extroverted way because
Mhm.
I felt like that was what, if I have a little bit of that, people respond to that well. So that's what I tried to be like, and then as an adult, I was like, oh, I can't do that all the time. It's too exhausting. I was like, that's not actually who I am, even if I can do a pretty good job at pretending it. So with my kids, I feel like if I can just do something that can give me a little more of an insight, you know,
Mhm.
then that is helpful, even if I don't have them totally figured out. So,
So does she like to do things like her own way with her own, like she has her own ideas of the way things should be? Or does she more go with the flow and kind of accepting guidance or other people's ideas or that sort of thing?
I'd say she's more towards liking to do things her own way generally.
So so you said you think leaning towards extrovert.
Yeah, I think so.
And then I think it sounds like she's probably a J.
Uh-huh.
Um, so then it would be, does she like, I think the next one would be, does she like feeling like everyone likes her and she knows how other people feel and it really impacts her how others respond to her or how if someone else is feeling a certain way, she kind of responds emotionally, or is she a little bit more uh not distant but impersonal, a little bit more um like she keeps a perspective, like
Um, okay, I'm trying to think because she's pretty um like moment to moment, I would say I don't know. It's like if we talk about after like stepping back and looking at things, she can do that. But I would say more in the moment, she more tends to just be kind of caught up in whatever sort of the people around her are doing. I'm trying to think. And especially since we did homeschool at first, and then this year we're doing kind of a thing where they go for like a day and a half, and then they're home the rest of the time. It's been interesting to see her, with a larger group of kids more often, and kind of see how she reacts. So I'm kind of thinking through that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's pretty important to her if people like around her would approve of her, but at the same time, if she's with like one friend and they're having a great time giggling and laughing, and even if the teacher and like the other people are looking at them and are kind of like like she might not necessarily notice that until later, but she knows in her head that she would understand, like she could, so it's like, if I think she could think through that, but at the same time she tends to be, but I guess that's still, if she, with that one person or that group of people, if she's really feeling the energy of that situation, she can definitely get kind of caught up in that and really enjoy that. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah. So caught up in the group. Sorry, do you hear an echo? Or is she more like, this is the way things should be? It holds to that, like, even like she's the one setting the agenda in a group of people, and being the lead in charge person, or just kind of being the fun friend.
I think if she's comfortable with the group, if she's comfortable with the group, and if she was like one of the older kids, she would kind of be the leader. But if there's somebody else who's kind of already established, she'd be more inclined to sort of be kind of on their team or whatever. So that's both. So that, again, I don't know if that really helps.
Yeah.
But definitely comfortable telling other people what she would want them to do. For sure. She's not like, oh, I don't want them to be mad at me, I won't tell them. She'll definitely tell the people what she wants to do, but I can see her, if there's already another person or kid who seems like sort of the authority figure, she'll kind of go with that.
So I'm curious if ESFJ sounds like a good fit.
Yeah, I could see that, because I feel like she has some of the more, the structured, but at the same time, though, she does have a lot of I could see the maybe struggling with her having a hard time deciding if she's going to go with the feeling, like she's because she has and especially being a child growing up and a girl growing up, like having all these feelings. So I'd say she really has very strong emotions.
Okay.
But at the same time, kind of wanting, if part of her is sort of wanting that structure, I can see where she's kind of like, that might cause some of the, volatility of her personality that I feel sometimes.
Yes. I have an ESFJ daughter, and I think volatility.
Yeah. So she's definitely been, and we're different. We have things in common, and I feel like we have a really good relationship, but she's definitely, sometimes her volatility or her extreme feeling like this is the worst day of my life, and then 15 minutes later it's the best day of her life. I'm kind of like, okay, like so how do we move with this, but I'm glad it's not, that she can realize, sometimes she'll feel like that, and I'm like, maybe that was the worst 5 minutes of your life, not the worst day, and she's like, oh yeah, good, that's good, I'm glad.
Yeah, I think that's the direction I would lean, is ESFJ.
Okay, yeah, I'll definitely look into that more and read some of the material on that one and see if it seems like a good fit.
Yeah. And so then your second
is my son, my only son. So he's 6, turning 7 in not till August. But
so especially, how would you say he's different from your daughter?
He's often more content to play on his own. He's pretty you know, I would say he's more introverted than she is. He's more he's a little like he's a little more structured, a little more kind of quiet. He doesn't demand, like he's kind of one that you have to focus more on being like, okay, I need to make sure I'm giving you attention, because sometimes he'll just be so happy doing his own thing, and she likes to do things with me so much that I really have to focus on making sure that he, you know, gets some mom time, so that, you know, he won't end up feeling like, why are you never paying attention to me, you know, because he's really he's pretty obedient, he's not super headstrong, or and not that I think those are, you know, I feel like I really value both of them for the different types of strength that they have, you know, but just as far as how they act.
I think that's the benefit of looking at the different personality types.
Yeah, it just makes you realize the value of every person, and that they're going to be, you know, different things. Yeah. So yeah, so that's sort of a general overview. Just
so you said with the Legos, he likes to build the thing by the instructions, and then he plays with the thing as made, or then he takes it apart and makes something else.
He'll do all of that, I guess. So he'll build it, like he'll I think how he got, I'm trying to think how he kind of got started in it. I guess first he just started just building whatever. And he's really driven by the imaginative story behind it, and like he loves the, you know, in the little in the instructions they have the little comics with the story. He loves, you know, seeing the story and trying to put that together in his mind as much as he can, and then he'll put it together, and then he'll play with it. He'll play with the things, and then he also, after he's built it a few times, you know, everything goes in the big bucket of all those sets that have been taken apart, and then he'll create some of his own things, or he'll modify, you know, the creatures or whatever to be a little different, and then he'll also spend plenty of time, like he doesn't even have the toy with him, but he's just running around the house, like running laps, doing sounds, and he's creating his whole own, you know, story. And he could tell you, like, you know, he's told me, and I've even transcribed him down. I'm like, this is a pretty good story. Like, I'm going to save this for you for when you get older and you can edit it, you know, like he'll create his whole own imaginary world, you know, of what he's doing. So he's very capable of creating something that's perfectly entertaining to him, you know, on his own. So
yeah, I'm leaning towards something like INFP. Should be. Do you recognize similarities like that? Like, you guys, do you feel like you're on a similar wavelength, or are there differences?
Yeah, I feel like we are. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we were something that was close, maybe one or two letters apart, but maybe the same, or maybe only one letter apart. I feel like he's a little more, he sees things a little more black and white than I do.
Okay.
Like a lot of times for him, it's hard if I've told him, and I'm not even super like, these are the rules, you know, but but if he feels like something is a rule and then someone else isn't doing it, that will bother him. Or if, you know, we've kind of said, like, we're probably going to do this, and then we don't, he'll be like, but we said we were going to do it, you know. That's so sometimes it's hard for him when things, like, I would say he's maybe a little more structured than me, but we do have a lot in common. Like, I would say he's similar. Like, if you ask my mom how I played when I was little, she would say, like, oh yeah, you know, I would just look in her room and there'd be all this stuff set up that I didn't know what it was, and she'd be talking to herself. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of similar, you know. But yeah, so I think we're similar, but
so something that it could be that INFP or INTP. An INTP would be introverted thinking.
Yeah,
and they're more concerned with accuracy.
Yeah, and he naturally, like with math, he really enjoys math and picks it up really quickly and can just think through it and understands things that I'm like, oh, I don't think I taught you that, but you get it. And I wouldn't say I was really like that as a kid. I don't know if it was how I was taught or just my thinking processes. But he's pretty good with that. And with building, you know, he's more Like I feel like with science and math, a lot of it makes sense to him pretty easily.
Do you say that he gets his feelings hurt easily or rarely, or kind of how is that personal interaction, especially with her sister? I'm sure there are.
Yeah, they never fight. No, I'm just kidding. Do your kids fight? No. They go back and forth between just getting along really well and being really happy with each other, and then when they do, but then they have plenty of disagreements, and when they do, so on the one hand, I would say his feelings are hurt somewhat easily. And sometimes it's hard to tell unless you know him really well. You might not know it was coming though. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like his feelings are more deep inside of him. Like not as much. Like on the surface, he doesn't seem like a super emotional person, but then inside, he really is. So I don't know what that is.
Yeah, and he is 6 too. So
he's good.
He's probably not all the way, have a strong preference probably where it's really clear. He can probably still, kind of try out or be using all the different functions.
Yeah.
But it probably sounds something like INP.
Yeah. So those are the ones to kind of watch.
Yeah. INT or INFP. Yeah.
Yeah, because it really appeals to me with homeschool and everything, because I read your homeschool mom personality types. Me and my friends were reading that, and we were all just laughing because we're like, that's me exactly. And it's really helpful because some of the things I'd been trying to be more like, oh, I have to be more structured, or I have to be a certain kind of structure, and it really helped me be able to realize, oh yeah, that is kind of what I naturally do, and when I'm doing that, it works pretty well. And when I'm trying to do something else, it doesn't work that well. So that was good. So yeah, so it's like if you know your kids, pretty well, then you can do even better, because you can sort of, you just what you expect. As far as I know, with him, it's a little easier to sit down with him and do something and write stuff out. And then with my daughter, sometimes that can be harder. So sometimes, I just have to adjust my expectations for her, or adjust how she, what I consider to be a complete thing for her sometimes,
She probably likes there being more energy in the...
Right. Yeah. And we have to, if we mix in some other things,
probably going to be better able to focus.
Better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, that was helpful.
All right. All right. Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah, thank you.